Hello students, I am Patel Amisha and we are going to see Mathematics for Standard 7, Chapter 1, Integers. So we are going to see integers. Introduction of this chapter, natural numbers. All counting numbers including 1, 2, 3 and so on are called natural numbers and they are denoted by capital N. So that means whole numbers, natural numbers and all negative numbers are included in integers. Next is whole number. What is whole number? Whole numbers are all positive numbers combined with 0. When we add 0 with natural numbers, it makes whole numbers and they are denoted by capital W. So we can say that W is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Now about integers. Integers are all the whole numbers along with the negative numbers. It is known as integers. All whole numbers and negative numbers. That means positive numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. If we add 0, that is whole number, and all negative numbers. They all are combined and it makes integer. Integers is combination of whole numbers, natural numbers and negative numbers. So, integer is -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2 and 3. So, positive. That means it goes on endlessly, infinitely on both the side for positive integer also and negative integer also. Now, what is integer for number line? See how number lines is formed. All the positive integers are on the right hand side and all negative integers are on the left hand side. And in between there is a 0. Now 0 is neither a positive nor a negative. 0 does not have any positive or negative sign. On right hand side positive, left hand side negative integer. Addition and subtraction of integer. For adding integer, you have to follow this rule. If the integers have the same sign, add them together and keep the sign. For instance, 3 plus 5 is equal to 8 and -2 plus -5 is equal to -7. That means if two integers having the same sign, then it is an addition. If there is an -2 plus -5, in between plus sign is there and -2 and -5. So, if we add them together, then we have to keep the sign same. So, that is -7. Now, if the integer have different sign, subtract them. The answer takes sign of the larger number. Suppose 5 plus -8 is equal to -3 because -8 is the greatest number and -4 plus 11 is equal to 7 means 7 is positive because 11 is a positive value. So, integer having the same sign, add it, and if the integer have different sign, subtract same. Subtracting integers. Now you have to follow this rule. To subtract integers, ignore the sign and subtract like you usually do. The answer take the sign of the larger integer. That means 8 minus 12. You would do 12 minus 8 which is 4. The 12 has a minus sign in front of it. So, the answer is -4. Means ignore the sign and do this subtraction. Now, what you have to do? Pick out the biggest values sign and then you have to put there that sign in front of the answer. Now we can see some properties of integer. There are 4 properties: closure property, commutative property, associative property and distributive property. Addition and subtraction of integer. Now according to this property, we will see what is addition and subtraction if it's hold or does not hold. First is closure property. For closure property, any of the integer, that means a plus b. Here a and b is an integer. If a plus b, if you add a plus b, then you will get integer only. If you get integer, then the closure property holds here. In subtraction, if any integer is subtracted from an integer, then also you will get integer only. That means closure property holds subtraction also. In addition and subtraction, closure property holds, because if you add two of the integers, then you will get in answer integer only. And if you subtract any two of the integer, then also you will get integer only. Next is commutative property. Commutative property is if you add any of the two integer, a plus b and b plus a. That means if you interchange them, if you change the place, then also your answer remains the same. So, if you add a plus b or b plus a, for example, 3 plus 2 is 5 and 2 plus 3 is also 5. So, left hand side and right hand side both are tally here. So, that means this property holds here. In subtraction, a minus b is not equal to b minus a, because if you minus 8 minus 4, you will get at positive 4. But if you add, if you subtract 4 minus 8, then you will get minus 4. So, this property does not hold here. Next is associative property. In associative property, you have to add 3 integers, but you have to group any 2 of the integers. That means a plus b plus c is equal to a plus b plus c. If in first we have group in a plus b, in the second we have group b plus c. But your answer does not change. But we cannot say that in subtraction also we can do like this. If you do a minus b minus c is not equal to a minus b minus c, because in subtraction it may be came that negative integers came or its answer will not tally. So, associative property does not hold under subtraction. And the next is distributive property. In distributive property, a multiplied by b plus c, where a, b and c are integer only. A is outside the bracket, b and c is inside the bracket, but a is multiplied by b and a is multiplied by c also. So, ab plus ac, then also your answer came same. So, this property holds here. In same way, subtraction also, a multiplied by b minus c. So, a is multiplied by b and a is multiplied by c also. So, your answer does not change. So, this property holds here. So, let us see the summary. Closure property is for addition and subtraction, it's hold here. For commutative property, only additions hold here. For associative property, only additions hold here. For distributive property, addition and subtraction both hold this property under integer. Multiplication and division of integers. For multiplication and divide, there are two rules. If the signs are same, then the result is positive. This rule you have to follow, that if the sign are same, then the result is positive. If you take two integers and they are positive, then your answer is positive. If you take two negative integers and your answer is again positive. Let us see one example. 8 divided by 4, you will get 2 because both are positive integer. Minus 8 divided by minus 4 is equal to 2 because both the integers having the negative value. So, your answer is positive. Next is, if the sign are different, then the result is negative. That means if one integer is positive and one integer is negative, then your answer will be negative only. So, minus 2 multiplied by 5 is equal to minus 10. 2 multiplied by minus 5 is equal to minus 10. So, minus 8 divided by 4, you will get minus 2 because one is negative and one is positive. 8 divided by minus 4, you will get minus 2 because 8 divided by minus 4, one sign is minus 4. So, you have to keep it in your mind that if the signs are same, then the result is positive. If the signs are different, then the result is negative. So, if 2 multiplied by 5 is 10 and minus 2 multiplied by 5 is minus 10. So, you have to follow these rules because you have to follow the rules because rules have without rules integers is not properly. So, you have to follow all the rules which I have explained you. So, multiply and divide of two integers are same. Now, multiplication and division of integer under these properties also. There are four properties: closure property, commutative property, associative property and distributive property. Closure property holds under multiplication. If a multiplied by b, that is any integer is multiplied by any integer, your answer is integer. Any integer is divided by any integer does not an integer. So division closure property does not hold here. For multiplication, closure properties hold. For commutative property, a multiplied by b, b multiplied by a. If you do grouping of two integers and order change, then also your answer does not change. But in division, you cannot do like this. So, your division does not hold this property. For associative property, group two numbers, that is two integer and one another integer you have to make outside, then also your answer does not change. That means a multiplied by b multiplied by c or a multiplied by b multiplied by c. If you do like this, then also your answer does not change. This means multiplications hold this property, but in division it does not hold. A divided by b divided by c does not hold a divided by b divided by c. For distributive property, this is not applicable here because distributive property is not hold properties in multiplication and division of integer. Here b, a, b, c and z are all integers and b is a non-zero integer. B means non-zero integer. Now additive identity. What is additive identity? 0 is called additive identity of integers, that is a plus 0 or 0 plus a is equal to a, where a is an integer. Here a is an integer. If you add 0 with any integer, then your answer will be integer only. So this property is known as additive identity. Next is multiplicative identity. For multiplicative identity, 1 is called multiplicative identity for integers. That is, if any integer is multiplied by 1 or 1 is multiplied by any integer, then your answer is integer only. Here also a is an integer. So a multiplied by 1 or 1 multiplied by a, you will get a. That means as an integer. Now next is property of 0. Any number when multiplied with 0 always gives the product as 0. So, if you multiplied any number with 0, that is any integer a multiplied by 0 or 0 multiplied by a, you will get 0 only. Here also a is an integer. So, this property is known as property of 0, where your answer comes at 0 only. So, multiplication of this is like that. That is all from my side. Thank you. We will meet in the next session.